What is going on, boys? Swaggy's here. So, of course, before the video starts, please go check out Bizabizow for their actual video. They just uploaded the newest version of, fixing FNAF plushies, or Funko FNAF Plushies. So I wanted to go ahead and check it out since this is basically just FNAF 4. Well, the rest of FNAF 4. So I wanted to go ahead and check it out. Like I said, I was really excited to see this again. And, yeah, I just want to know how much they've just, gotten, the improvements done. So without any further ado, let's just get down to it. Oh yeah, this is a warning for the actual video itself, and also I apologize if the video is late. It takes out, it's a little bit longer. So let's get down to it. Number strategies. Yep, warning, as well as some mildly loud noises, and eye strain.
Hey, it's me again, Bizabizow. And in case you haven't seen it already, I'm just going to mention real quick that I have a merch store. You can get some Bizabizow shirts on there with me on them. This video background themed trans flag shirt, this Find Squirt Buckley shirt, and most relevant to this video, you ever wonder what an animatronic themed around my channel aesthetics would look like if a certain company turned it into a charmingly bad plushie? Well, here's an artist's rendition of what that may look like, but on a shirt.
Oh!
I know that's a lot of mental gymnastics there. It's a funny plushie. It's a shirt with a funny plushie. There's also some fun little stickers and even a couple of mouse pads for you. You can get all this at and only at crowdmade.com/collection/Bizabizow. Link in the description. It's a great way to support me and the channel, but you also get some cool things in the mail for it. So it's a win-win.
I totally forgot to mention this came out just a day ago, so I want to go ahead and check it out.
Oh my god, guys, we're in deep trouble. We gotta make more FNAF plushies quick.
Link down below for the actual video itself. So, by the way, I almost forgot to mention that.
In the
video, subscribe to the channel.
In the world, well, if we... Guys, I'm sorry. I wanted to do something cool for you this episode. I know how much you guys like cool action stuff and all that, so I thought I could, put something cool in here, but I couldn't pull through.
That's alright.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry I couldn't deliver on the cool stuff, guys. Okay, since this is a part 2 to our last Fixing FNAF Plushies, we'll be covering the other half of FNAF 4's animatronic roster that we didn't get to in that video. And I don't know
clue how you're gonna get
always
them.
Repeat this as being completely content with just jumping directly into the middle of an ongoing series is not something most people are willing to do, but go watch the last part and all the others if you haven't seen them. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
In this episode, we'll be covering all of the animatronics and animatronic variants that were added to FNAF 4 in its Halloween update, and also Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare, who were in the base game and aren't a part of the Halloween gang, but I wanted to save for the very end. I wanted them to be a little special.
Yeah.
And what do you know?
Hey,
I'm predictable. Just a few quick things before we start. Firstly, I wanted to show some more of your guys' fan work, specifically based on my designs from the last episode, because
that's
you
really
guys started whipping up some amazing stuff almost immediately. I love it.
Look at those
y'all
things.
are the best. Look at this. They made Freddy, and it actually has the little... You can
oh my
god.
That's sick.
Oh,
that's really sick.
Again. It's me, Fluttertie. Sorry it's been so long. I'm just down in the mines. Ty forgot to mention that she incorrectly credited some art last time. This should actually be credited to @Malfin on Twitter. Ty says she's very sorry. Oh, also, sorry my voice sounds different. Like I said, I've been down in the mines mining my fucking ores.
Secondly, just one more self-plug. I'm sorry. I started streaming recently. Woohoo! I started playing some Metroid Prime Remastered with my good friend Oof Troop, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's cool.
I loved when Freddy got real scared and said, "Gregory, our security was breached."
Gregory, we're ruined. Oh my god, we're ruined.
The plan is to keep streaming from here on out, so keep a lookout if you want to catch one live.
That's cool.
If not, though, the VODs are all saved. Alright, that's all I needed to flap my mouth about this time. Let's get to making some plushies.
Alright, let's get down to it. Of course it hits me like this. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I had to scream the ad away.
The jack-o'-lantern. The chocolate ice.
I can't with his voice, bro.
Jacko Bonnie and Jacko Chica are the only two characters in this episode that have Funko plushies, so we may as well start with them. These two, as we know, are simple recolors of the Nightmare Bonnie and Chica models. They were just Jack-o'-lantern for the Halloween update with only minor structural changes.
I think only Chica's
given that fact, I was extremely shocked to find out that for Jacko Bonnie, Funko didn't do their favorite thing in the entire world, just reusing a pre-existing plush base. even though that would have actually made complete sense in this case. Instead, they made a new base plush design for this guy with this thinner head, huge bean-shaped snout, and this jaw ring thing. And, you know, this actually looks more like the model than the regular Nightmare Bunny plush does. It's still not that accurate, and it certainly doesn't look good, but it is an improvement. I gotta commend them for that, at the very least. Since we're going to be making a recolor of my Nightmare Bunny design from the last episode anyway, it's not necessary to pick this design apart and talk about what we're changing and all that. I'm just showing it to you so you know it exists. And we'll know how much better ours will be. Hopefully. So here's ours. The only thing I really had to worry about was the colors, which I made sure were more accurate than Funko's. Here we have darker pumpkin-y colors instead of super bright saturated ones. The most important part was making all of the body holes, especially his eyes, all bright yellow to give him the appearance of being lit up from the inside.
Like glowing.
You know. There are a few small structural differences from Nightmare to Jacko, though. The most obvious are his missing eyeballs, but there's actually another one that you may or may not have noticed already. If it weren't for the fact that I had to study these designs intently for this series, much like Nightmare Foxy's different pupils that I mentioned last time, I literally would have never noticed that Jacko Bunny's nose is missing. It's just not there. This is probably to make him look more like a jack-o'-lantern with the nose hole and all, but the only time you ever see the light shining through it is in this teaser for the Halloween update, not in any of the actual renders in-game. So, really weird detail. I mean, it kind of shows through from some angles in Help Wanted, but, you know, source material priority and all that. For accuracy's sake, I also removed his nose, but instead of making the quote-unquote hole yellow, the light is shining through, I just made it black. This is how he's seen in the game anyway, like I said. Also, I made Jacko Bonnie's bright red tie more of a rust color here to fit in with the color palette as a whole a bit better.
I love it.
It's just easier on the eyes. And that's pretty much it. On to the next one.
I love it. Okay. I love these stitches, by the way, to show like they're like damaged or something like that.
Hold on, everybody.
Over the garden wall. Yo. The jack-o'-lantern.
Jacko Chica has just a little more going on. As you can see, pumpkin colors once more, no eyes, lit up body holes, all that good stuff. But this time, we have a new little magnetic buddy to make. Jacko Chica's Nightmare Cupcake was replaced with this little jack-o'-lantern here, going along with the theme in a really cute way. I'm not sure if calling this thing the Jacko Cupcake would be accurate, as it's a pumpkin, but you could maybe make the argument that this thing would be classified as a variant of the character, the Cupcake, alongside the others. The wiki doesn't do this though, so maybe don't listen to me. Oh, right, and here's Funko's design. It's kind of a Toy Chica recolor, but does have some additions that I briefly mentioned last time. Yeah, it's bad. You can just go ahead and toss that one, though. Don't worry about it. I got you a new one, pal. Here you go. Everything's pretty standard.
I love it.
I grabbed the same Jacko colors, slapped them on Nightmare Chica, and took out the eyes. But, of course, now I have the Nightmare Cupcake replacement. As you can see, it's a little more on the green side, which may seem incorrect to you, given that Help Wanted Special Delivery and most of her merch have standard orange ones. But no, in FNAF 4, it's decidedly not orange, but instead a yellowy green. Which is a color that a pumpkin can be in real life, in case you were wondering. If you're a real FNAF head, though, you'd know that FNAF 4 and all Jacko Chica appearances from here on out actually aren't the only instances of this jack-o'-lantern model showing up. Not a lot of people know that coinciding with FNAF 4's Halloween update, there were also ones released for 1, 2, and 3's PC and original mobile ports. All they did was add little Halloween decorations to your office if your clock was set to October 31st, but look, it's not FNAF 2 though. I don't know what was going on there. Anyway, that's it for Jacko Chica.
Yo.
Now that those two are out of the way, it starts to get a little more interesting.
Okay.
Alright,
I was scared.
Wait.
I was scared there was an ad there.
I have to make a standalone Jacko cupcake, don't I? Oh god, this is the most boring one so far. No one has ever asked for this to be a plushie. Okay, I gotta pull out the big guns this time. Okay, so basically I made a bigger version of the small one.
What is that Mark Zuckerberg?
It has stitches, like it has stitches and there.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-oh. No! I got him. I got the ad out of here. I got it. Don't worry. Anyways, let's continue. Oh. No, I won't. Nope.
There just isn't room in here.
I don't care, little bro. You stay. You stuck. Nope. You're staying there. Good.
Although I'm not huge on the design, I can at least say that Nightmare BB will make for a somewhat easier time in the plushie conversion process. Compared to the other nightmares, at least.
That's true.
Look, there isn't a single scratch on this guy. We haven't seen that for a while.
Pristine.
He's also essentially just a wider-headed version of his regular counterpart with a big old jaw and teeth, so even simpler.
And claws.
Here he is.
Yo.
That's not right. Hold on. Sorry, I think
I like that one.
There we go.
Yep.
We go.
That's nice too. I love it.
Awkward. The
I
first
love
thing
it.
you'll probably notice is his big ol' silly stupid grin, which was, of course, crucial to get right. How else is he gonna say...
Hello?
For real.
And hey, look, the return of the finger nubs.
Yo, the
Since
finger
his long,
nubs.
crooked fingies are a big focal point for his
Yeah.
design, and because
Those
they're the same
fingers look
size as the
weird.
puppets, this is definitely an appropriate use for them. And before anyone says he has an incorrect digit count, it was on purpose this time. I stylized it to be 4 instead of 5 in cartoon fashion,
5
Okay.
fingers. Ooh, freak show.
The fuck up, Bob.
so it would look
Damn.
strange to have an anatomically accurate number of fingers on a plush like this.
Okay.
So, back off. Compared to OG
Damn.
Balloon Boy, the
Okay.
colors are a little
I said it
different,
was good.
with purple stripes instead of blue, red eyes and nose instead of blue
Oh,
and orange,
yeah, it does have, like,
respectively,
little
and
subtle
black buttons
differences.
instead of white. Oh, and
Yeah.
the blue propeller. I can't forget that. How would I be able to live with myself?
Yo.
And bada bing, bada loon, Nightmare Balloon Boy. That didn't make sense, did it?
I love it. Please, no ad.
Fucking look
I was
at me
gonna
like
give it.
that. That's a weird looking fucking cat.
Yo.
Mom! Yo, there's a stray cat outside. I don't want it starting a
Bro,
fight
scared.
with Lucy.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, I said before that Nightmare Chica was my least favorite nightmare design, but
Yeah.
I changed my mind. I think it's actually this one. I
that one
appreciate
looks
the Mangle
foul.
representation, but Nightmare Mangle is just so gross looking and not in a good way.
Foul,
This looks more
yeah.
like a Nightmare fan design than an official one to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Nightmare Foxy looked fine enough, I guess, but taking his head and putting these super bright Mangle colors on it just doesn't work,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Nah.
Also, this goofy evil robot head. This is a spirit Halloween decoration.
Yeah, for real.
But
Bro's
I
just
gotta
looking
try
at you.
my best to make this into a decent plushie, so let's go. I think the best way to go about this is the simplest one, starting with our regular Mangle's
Oh.
body with Nightmare Foxy's head and going from there.
That's cool.
So, this is my result. It's pretty
Oh.
messy looking, but it's honestly the best I can manage with
Yeah.
this design. All things considered, I think I did a good job, but depends
I
on
still
how
love
much
it.
you like the character, I guess. As you can see, I changed the bare metal part of the original Mangle to
Yeah.
closer resemble this one, more in vibe than anything else, with a darker color as well, matching
Yep.
the one in game. The endo head is now rounded with a different face, roughly capturing the real
That's,
thing's look. The
ugh,
legs now
but
match
yeah,
Nightmare
love
Mangle's
it.
better, with only one colored limb this time around, and 2 bare endo legs
Okay.
instead of just one. The head is Nightmare
it.
Foxy's, but sized down and with a slightly altered jaw, done
Yeah.
to reduce the hypothetical head weight a little bit. But aside from that, it's pretty self-explanatory. An eye was removed, red cheeks and lips were added, and all the colors were changed to follow suit.
Yep.
And that's it. Nightmare Mangle. You may not want to hold that thing too close, though, and make sure you have your rabies shots.
Yeah. Please. Okay. I thought I was gonna get another ad.
It's Slenderman!
Uh-oh. Okay.
I gotta stop myself from complaining about these designs. Let's just make
Yeah.
the plushie.
Bro,
Alright, this
this-
one we get to have a little more fun with, as this thing's got some extreme proportions.
Ooh,
Namely, these
yeah,
incredibly
bro, it's
long
odd.
tentacle fingers, way longer than the original puppets. Given our past method,
Okay.
these will be similar to the little nub fingers we've
Yeah,
included
just a
before,
tiny
but
little
a
bit
bit longer. Not nearly as long as the actual model, of course.
Yeah.
We gotta stylize that shit. Everything else, for the most part, will be built off our original puppet, but altered to fit Nightmarian's appearance.
I'm really
Here's
excited.
what I came up with.
Yo.
As you can see,
That's
the
sick.
face has all the expected
I love it.
features, including the teeth, which
Yep.
are just flat stitching this time for the
Yep.
flat mouth,
Creepy grin.
and the slight head shape
Black
change.
tears.
The body is the
Black
puppet's with a
lipstick,
wider
apparently.
chest, similar to what Nightmarion has,
Yep,
with some
little
little
rib cage
ribbed
thing.
plush parts added
Yeah.
for the skeletal look. These are
I
attached to
love
this
the little
vaguely
spirally-
spine-esque plush
Yeah.
part on their back here. FNAF 4 doesn't have any renders showing this model's backside,
Okay.
so this is based on Help Wanted's model. The legs were made to have a rhombusy shape this time. The model's legs get wide in the middle and slender at either end. And of course the fingers. As discussed, these are longer than the puppets, but only moderately, as the tiny proportioned look has to be maintained for these plushies. These are indeed 3 fingers as well, just like the puppets, but are placed to look less like human hands. Also, you may have noticed the licorice-looking stitch lines on their arms and legs, and that's to give them the look of the model's twisted tentacle limbs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Also, side tangent, does anyone under 40 out there like black licorice? I'm genuinely curious. I don't think I've met a single younger person that has, and for good reason, because that shit's nasty.
Yeah.
Drop a comment below if you like black licorice. Tell me to die. And Nightmare is completed.
Bro, what? I love it.
Now it's finally time for the big boys, the real big boys. Let's go.
The big chunky dudes. Uh-oh, I'm getting another ad. Snoop Dogg, what are you doing in my video? I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. Sorry about the Snoop. Anyways, without any further ado, let's continue. Nightmare Fredbear is this one actually. I'm really into to see it. What's happening here? So satisfying. Bro, what? Nightmare Fredbear bite. Yo, ain't no way that's an actual tweet. That's crazy. That's foul.
Now, I get why one would shy away from a design like this. The jump from this to this is quite extreme with the utter amount of detail added.
That's an understatement.
I could see Funko avoiding him in favor of other more plushy suitable designs. But that's if they cared at all. You know how Funko is. Look at how many reuses of the Freddy base they've done before. What's one more to throw on the pile? What was stopping them from making this yellow and purple and calling it a day? Hell, they made this fucking thing into a plush, and who gives a shit about the Twisteds?
For real. Okay.
All this to say, it's quite strange why a Funko Nightmare Fredbear plush doesn't exist, even though it would most certainly be atrocious. But who needs Funko, right? Let's do what they couldn't do. Because, you know, we're making shit up and not actually making these physically. Once again, I'll just show the design and we'll go into detail as we go. And here he is.
Yo.
Oh my god, I mixed it up again. There. Okay.
I love that actually.
I'm sorry, I'm
this
a
is really cool.
mess today. The first thing worth mentioning is that this is the second time we've used the rounder body. The first was for Toy Freddy, who is also a notably rotund fella, although Nightmare Fredbear is even more so. The trickiest part of this design to get right was the head shape. Nightmare Fredbear has a very large head compared to all the other nightmares, which aside from being yellow is definitely his most defining feature.
Yeah, bro's got like
that triple decker ultra deluxe fucking burger with extra cheese, sauce.
Bro looks like he could actually eat
a lot of his head real estate is dedicated to his massive mouth, so I made sure to keep that shit tall and wide. His head shape is actually pretty similar to Nightmare Bonnie's, just way wider and with a smaller snout. Since Fredbear loves slurping on tar, I can't blame the guy. His model has these giant black gums connecting the teeth to the mouth.
That's
so
true.
I made the surrounding area of his mouth all black to give that look without actually giving him gums. You know my stance on that sort of thing. Something I've never understood about his design, but enjoyed anyway because of its uniqueness, are the weird little wing wire things he's got in his eyes.
That is a weird
I don't know
thing.
what they're supposed to be, aside from just an interesting little place to put some wires, but hey, I like it, and it's on the plush too. You might be wondering about the whole stomach mouth thing, and well, unfortunately, there was no way I could find to include teeth along his stomach line without cluttering the design up too much. So instead of doing that, I opted to make the vertical intersecting stitches longer, making his belly stitch way more prominent than the others, with a look closer to a mouth. Oh, and also the little finger stitches are silver and a slight bit longer than normal to match his slightly longer silver fingers that the other
Both got long fingernails.
And that's pretty much all there is to say about this guy. But we do have one more to tack on as well.
Ooh, yeah, this guy.
And he's grody.
Bro's gross.
Did you not see the spaghetti? I did, and I know who you are. You're
Bizabizow in the corner there. No. Bro, what? Hold up. Open the door. Yo, give me a second. Sorry about that. Somebody was calling to my attention, or something was calling to my attention. Anyways, let's continue on with this nightmare thing. Let's get into it. Oh no.
Nightmare is another
Okay.
color swapped model, so we'll give him the usual.
It is a little see-through.
Here's my design. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Sorry about that.
Yo,
It's always
okay.
fucking something. So, with Nightmare's
Love
design,
it.
I unfortunately had to just completely ignore the fact that he's translucent.
Yeah.
Obviously, see-through plushies don't exist, although if this was a figure, he'd totally have that early 2000s electronic translucent thing going on. This, too, means his
Love it.
visible brain won't be accounted for,
Visible
unfortunately.
brain, yeah.
Though maybe
That
there
does
could
look
be
odd.
a little secret plush one hidden on the inside of his head if you cut
Maybe.
him open, like Toby Fox's plushies. Don't cut your plushies open though.
Yeah,
please.
it's true.
He's just an
Oh, yeah, the
opaque
little
color
plastic
here,
little,
which is totally
soul
fine in
thing
my book.
inside.
I only ever think of Nightmare as a dark-colored
Yeah.
fredbear with a yellow hat and tie, anyway.
Yeah.
And
To be
wow,
fair, that's all
our
he really
2
is.
final FNAF 4 plushies completed.
Really? Yo, I love it. I love it. And of course, I get
And
another
just
ad. Ugh. Got onto. That was lame. Okay, I'll be back. Give me a minute. Sorry for that lame cutaway. Anyways, we're back, so let's continue.
Would you look at that? We're finally done.
Well, we
this
got
is
through 'em.
definitely the most challenging bunch of characters to design for
Love
so
it.
far, by a long
That
shot.
looks sick.
But the challenge made these 2 vids a lot of fun to
Love
work
that
on,
one too.
especially with how much I ended up liking
That
some
one's
of
my
my
favorite.
designs in particular. It is a huge relief, though,
He's all
knowing
right.
that we won't have to deal with
Love
this
it.
kind of withered, toothy animatronic design
I love it.
ever again. At least not nearly as visually dense
That
as
one's
the
my
Nightmares.
second favorite.
Thank God. I don't know if my wee girl could handle it. So,
Yeah.
with FNAF 4 done, our plushie count has risen to
Yeah.
51 characters.
Yeah.
25 of those being ones with existing Funko plushies, and 26 without. Imagine
Yeah.
how many moths you could feed with all that cloth and material.
For real.
Moths eat clothes and
Do they?
cloth and stuff, don't they? When we get back to making FNAF plushies again, we'll be on sister location, which
Yes,
means we
I'm
get
excited.
to go back to making some gay-looking animatronics
Damn.
and plushies.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of
fortunately.
fun. I can't wait. Anyway, I don't really have any wacky bit to end this video on, so, hey, you know what you should go watch? I think you should leave on Netflix. That's required viewing material for this channel,
I don't know
alright?
about that one, little bro.
They added a new feature to YouTube just for me. That it checks for I think you should leave in your browser history.
For what?
And if it's not there, it blocks all my videos for you. Forever,
Damn.
until you watch it. You can't see them. This is real. Guys, there's a timer counting down. The world will end if you don't.
Okay. Alright. I think that's it.
And as always, I'd like to thank my skrunklies over on Patreon.
Yep.
Thank you for supporting me.
So yeah, that's basically where that's kind of gonna end off. So yeah, of course, check out Bizabizow. They make a ton of great content, and I love a lot of her stuff. Thank you. So without any further ado, let me just get my general thoughts and opinions on the video itself out there first of all, before I continue on anymore. So let me just get down to it. So first, I'm going to be talking about the actual designs of the characters themselves, the presentation, as well as the editing. So without any further ado, let's just get down to it. So I loved every model. I loved every design. They all looked amazingly cool. I loved them. The only thing that I can really comment on was the pumpkin one. Did look a little off, but overall, just in general, I loved all of them. They were amazingly well done, and I loved them. Other than that, it's just in general, like the FNAF 4 characters are really hard to make as like adorable little plushies. They're not meant to be PG, like meant for like children under 10. They're not. And so for Bizabizow to make them somehow adorable and amazingly creepy, I loved it. Talented there, honestly. That was really cool. But yeah, without any further ado, enough being serious, but overall, just in general, I loved it. The character designs themselves were amazingly well done. I loved how they looked, and I loved how just practical they were too. Like of course, like the magnetic cupcake, or the at least pumpkin in this case. But overall, just I loved them, and I loved how they had how Nightmare Fredbear had the black gums, how Nightmare Puppet, or Nightmare Yawn in this case, had those little twisted tentacle fingers or twisted tentacle arms and legs. I love the little details they added, and in general, all the characters themselves looked amazingly well done. I loved it. But other than that, just in general, they all looked really good, and overall, I don't think I can imagine anything else other than these ones. even though the Funko ones kind of do already exist, they don't look the best, you know, and that's a shame because, you know, a lot of FNAF plushies deserve, you know, more, you know, recognition. And honestly, I wish, you know, there was a little bit of, you know, of a quality improvement in, you know, Funko's, you know, FNAF plushies. There's just not, and I don't think we'll be getting some anytime soon. So it's really a shame. But I'm really glad to see that Bizabizow just came up with these custom ideas for how they should have looked. And honestly, I just love how they do look. But other than that, just in general, I love how the characters look, and I love how they're all designed. And that's basically how I'm going to summarize it. Other than that, just, let me get down to the actual presentation themselves. So, yeah. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, these were great. I loved it. So, okay, let me get more a little bit into depth. So, yeah. Like I was going to say, the presentation for each of the models themselves was amazingly well done. I loved it. And, yeah, overall, just gave them the proper amount of time to really, you know, for you to really ingrain them in your mind. Gave them, you know, the proper amount of time to really sink in. I love that, too. And overall, I loved all the little, you know, little jokes that they popped up every now and then. The only thing that really spoiled my mood was the actual ads. Yeah. Kept getting them throughout the entire video itself, like maybe 3 or 4 in just this one video. That's crazy. But other than that, just in general, I loved, you know, the presentation. I loved how they presented them, and I loved, you know, the little jokes they made with them. It was really cool. But with all that being said and done, yeah. Other than that, just in general, the editing of the video itself, amazing. I loved it. It was so cool. And in general, I loved like how each, you know, after, you know, presenting each one, they had like these little how would I say it, like confetti. I think, yeah, confetti like bits, and I loved it. It was so cool. And other than that, just in general, love the editing. It was really cool. And overall, it just looked really professional. Looked really very stylized too to Bizabizow. Make a ton of good content too, so check them out. But other than that, just in general, I loved it. So with all that being said and done, that kind of just concludes the actual first segment of the video itself, the actual reaction segment of the actual video itself. So without any further ado, you know, like I said, check them out. Link down below for the actual video itself. Please go check out Bizabizow and all their content. They make a ton of great stuff. And in general, I love seeing a lot of their stuff too. And other than that, just in general, like I said, check them out. As well as their streaming stuff, if you're interested in seeing that too from them. So, yeah, without any further ado, like I said, link down below. But also, you know, just in case you guys enjoyed the video so far, consider hitting the like button and subscribing, as it really helps out a ton, and I really do appreciate it. So please consider doing that. And, of course, you know, hit the notification bell for the next... I gotta slow down. So hit the notification bell for next time I upload. That's kind of what it's there for, and it helps you out a ton, just to get notification for whenever I upload. So, yes, that's the best way to do it. And tell me, what was your favorite design? Mine had to be Nightmare Balloon Boy, surprisingly, because he looked so good, and I loved how he just, like had the little finger nubs, just the purplish design he had as well, as instead of the blue, and of course, the blue propeller. I loved it. It was really cool, and in general, top notch. So, without any further ado, let me know your favorite part, or your favorite, you know, design. You know, comment down below. I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can. And yeah, other than that, in general, this goes on to take part of the video itself. So this is the part of the video where I basically get more into depth on what I was already talking about, the designs, you know, the actual, you know, presentation, and the actual editing itself. So let me get down to it. No more distractions. So the designs themselves. Let me start off one by one, and let me just tell you what I think about them. So Nightmare Chica, I love it. I really do. Just in general, I don't think I could imagine, you know, Nightmare Chica, like, just getting the one from Funko themselves. It didn't look good. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, Nightmare Chica looked great. I loved it, and in general, just top notch. And yeah, I loved how they, you know, had these kind of like color designs to them too, like the little, like, you know, like yellowish brown and the bright yellow, just to, like, you know, show like the bright glowing eyes, and the, you know, the kind of like, you know, pumpkin-y, like Halloween-y look that they do all have, and I loved it. And as well as, you know, Nightmare Bonnie as well looked amazing. I love how just different the character looks, because you know in the first, you know, FNAF 4 Funko plushie ones, how Nightmare Bonnie just didn't look great. Looked like a reskinned classic Bonnie skin, or classic Bonnie plushie. It was cringe, and I hated it. But of course, Bizabizow found a way to just completely change that. And overall, I loved how Nightmare Bonnie looked, and I loved how, you know, Nightmare Jackal Bonnie looked. And overall, love the design. It was amazing. 9 out of 10 for both. And yeah, let's move on. Actually, let's move on. I'm running out of time, so let me get into it. So, the jack-o'-lantern, the pumpkin one. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, overall, I loved it. Looked like a tiny version of the actual character model itself, and overall, very stylized, very cutesy. I love it. And overall, I love how it also attaches to Chica's like hand. It was so cool, and I love the like functional features of it. But other than that, just in general, it's a pumpkin. It's a green pumpkin with like glowing face a little bit. So overall, 8 out of 10. No, nothing too crazy. But overall, yeah, I loved it. And so without any further ado, let's move on to the actual other characters themselves. So Nightmare Balloon Boy, 10. Already 10. I loved it. Just the way that they made they stylized the mouth, the little claw fingers. I loved it. It was so cool. Reminded me so much of the actual puppet design, which I enjoyed a ton. And in general, just it was really cool looking. As well as they actually subtly changed the colors of just the fact that they subtly changed the colors of Nightmare Balloon Boy was amazing. I loved it. And yeah, in general, really loved the design. It was really cool. 10 out of 10. And yeah, without any further ado, let's go on to the actual other characters themselves. So, Nightmare and Fredbear, or Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare, 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. I loved them. They were really cool. I loved them. Only taking that 0.5 point away because of the actual stomach mouth is not too much of an issue for me, because they did kind of feature the longer stitches that could simulate a mouth. But overall, they take a little bit away from it. But other than that, just in general, I loved it. The character designs looked incredibly accurate, and I love just how they completely designed them from scratch, because there are no Nightmare Fredbear plushies anywhere. But other than just in total, I loved how the characters looked, and in general, really love the designs, really love the stitches, really love how like the stitches are meant to represent like how many like holes they have in their endoskeleton or their costumes, and in general, it was just really cool. But other than that, just in general, Nightmare On, automatic 10. I loved it. Loved the details in it. Just all the little subtle things as well, like the little twisted, limbs, and the extremely longer, versions of the little finger nubs. As well as just getting spot on with my Nightmare On's face, with like little black teardrops, black lipstick, and just the gaping mouth with just weird teeth coming out of it. I loved it. It was so cool. I loved it, and the little ribs. Oh, okay, that was nice. 10 out of 10. And in general, I love all the designs. They were amazingly well done. Nightmare Mangle too, amazing. I loved it. What else did I forget to mention? Nightmare JJ. Yeah, I think they showed Nightmare JJ as a sort of like Easter egg thing. I loved it. Really cool, by the way. And yeah, that's pretty much most of the characters themselves. So with all that being said and done, let's go on to the actual presentation itself. So let me just get down to that. So yeah. Now the presentation for each of the characters themselves was amazing. I loved them. Like I said, they gave them proper time to really ingrain in your mind. Gave you a lot of other sources of how they looked, and overall just really brought the actual thing into what would almost be like a semi-professional presentation for new designs. I loved it, how it looked, and I loved how they presented them too. And of course, I loved the jokes. They were all really cool and funny, and I really did enjoy them. Especially this little My Little Pony one with the Bizabizow in the corner. That was so cool. I loved it. But other than that was just in general, yeah, love the presentation. And now the editing itself, amazingly well done as well. Honestly, I couldn't do half of that. Honestly, I'm just not good at it. I'm just lame at it. I'm really lame at it. But overall, I loved it. Just editing itself, how it just really brought the actual video together, and overall, I just I loved it. Okay. I'm getting a little bit tired now. So yeah, like I said, editing itself really nice, really put the actual video together, and in general, really gave it like a good spot in my heart, or well, a good spot in my in my mind. So yeah, without any further ado, that basically concludes the actual video itself. Let me know your favorite plushie in the comments below. I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can and tell you why you're wrong, and why it is Nightmare BB. I'm playing, kinda. So without any further ado, that kinda does actually conclude the actual video itself. So of course, link down below. Check them out. Also, end card right here for actually, the Bizabizow, video itself. So please go check them out. They make some great content, and I love a lot of other stuff, especially just all of their, FNAF plushie lists. Their other FNAF plushie videos. I know I said list. So yeah, check those out. Also, by the way, I've seen a lot of those videos as well on the channel itself. Please go check that out, as well if you're interested. And of course, I'm gonna leave you another video right here. You know, another one of my videos if you're interested in seeing that. So other than that, just in general, yeah, check that out. Like and subscribe. Really helps out a ton. I really do appreciate it. And of course, you know, notification bell for next time upload if you're interested in seeing that. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll get to the second video today. I'm hoping to. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Other than that, just in general, check them out. And without any further ado, that kind of does actually conclude the video itself. I really do apologize for being late. This was just a longer video in general. And yeah, took a lot of time. So without any further ado, I'll be seeing you boys later on in the video itself. Also, consider sharing this video, actually. It really helps out a ton if you guys do that. And I just appreciate all you guys that do that anyways. And in general, it just helps out a ton. So thank you if you do that. Or consider doing that. And without any further ado, I'm going. So have a great day. I'll be seeing you boys later on today, hopefully. So, yeah. Bye-bye.